Okay, so we're going to start on our backs this morning and pick to start any position lying on your back that feels nice to you. So that might even mean coming to a traditional Shavasana shape. It might mean constructive rest. If you're feeling all revved up this morning, it might mean a little butterfly position with the feet. So anything that might feel nice to you, and just give your back, your spine, your shoulders a second to kind of settle into the floor, work out all your little wiggles, and then just take a couple of nice deep breaths here. And as you start to feel like your mind and your body are kind of settling in, finding a place, tune back into the back side of your body. Notice your shoulder blades, your upper back ribs, and then your tailbone. So hopefully you have a sort of natural curve of your back here. And if not, see if you can just arrange things so that you feel that small little sense of that natural curve of your back. And then once you've got all of that back side of your body rearranged, let your shoulders soften. Let your solar plexus soften. So that space above the belly button, but below the ribs. See if you can find some soft gentleness there. And as you tune into that solar plexus space, that space below the ribs, but above the belly button, in the lineup of the chakras, that would be the color yellow, and it would be the Manipura, or the jewel in your city. So think about this as kind of your energy center, the place where you get fired up from. And then as you're tuning into that solar plexus space, now can you start to just tune in to the ridge of your ribs right at the top of that solar plexus? And if it helps, you can always bring your fingers in and just kind of press gently into that ridge of the ribs, just so you can really get a real good sense or awareness of that space. And then once you have a good sense or awareness of that top ridge of your ribs, then let your hands fall back into a natural position and just tune into the breath there, right at the top of the ribs. Inhale and let everything fill up. And then exhale, finding a softness, but tuning into that space right at the top ridge of the ribs. Inhale and let everything fill up. Exhale, let everything soften. Take one more breath. And then before we move or get really engaged with the body, just pause here for a moment, set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Nice. And then with that intention set, let's bring our focus out to our arms and our hands and our fingertips. So depending on where your arms are, see if you can bring them out to your sides a little bit. Think about a 45-degree angle away from the body with your palms facing up, if that's available. And we're just going to start to roll the fingers in and then roll the fingers out. But think of it as a kind of fluid motion. So the minute the fingers roll in, just start rolling them right back out. Think of it kind of like a wave. And then as you start to roll through the fingers, working the hands like a wave, just kind of notice the back side of your forearm. So that part of the arm that might still be touching the ground, and just notice the movement of the forearm as you roll through your fingers in and out. And then once you feel like your hands and your fingers have created a little bit of warmth, or you just feel like you're getting the muscles engaged, then we're going to start to reach the hands up straight out from the chest, flip so palms are facing down. And then like we're making little zombie arms or thriller hands, we're just going to point the fingers down towards the knees and then pull the fingertips up and stretch through the fingertips. And then we're going to reach the fingertips down, pressing them towards the knees, and then pull the fingertips up past the ceiling and just reaching them as far as they like to go. Pull the fingertips towards your knees and then reach them up towards the ceiling and then even further to the point that you feel most comfortable. And take 2 more just like that, just moving through the range of motion of your wrists. Nice. And then find a kind of neutral hand and just give your hands a soft shake. Just let your fingers be loose, your wrists be loose. Move your forearms just a little bit, but make sure it feels like a comfortable position. Take 1 or 2 more gentle shakes to the hands. And then we're going to clap the hands together, fire up the palms, get them nice and good and hot. And then we're going to bring those hands right to that solar plexus area, the place above the belly button, but below the ribs. And see if you can just let your hands rest there. Close your eyes down, take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Awesome. And then from here, if your feet are in constructive rest, if your legs are nice and long, start to bring it all in. So we want to start to find a bridge preparatory position. So feet about hip width distance apart, heels nice and close to the butt. And then relax your hands down at your sides and move right into a pelvic tilt. As you exhale, press your low back into the ground. So we reduce the natural curve of the back, engage the quads and feel a little action right at the front of the hips. And then inhale, release to the natural curve of your back. If it helps, you can always bring your hands to your hips if that helps you find that motion. But if it feels comfortable and you know what you're doing, just let your hands rest wherever feels the best for them. So we exhale to press the low back down and then inhale, finding the natural curve of your back. And just take a few more cycles of breath here, just working with your breath's rhythm, tuning in, noticing the gentle movement in your hips, noticing how your low back feels, and getting a sense of your energy level here. Nice. Take 1 or 2 more cycles of breath. And then come back to the natural curve of your back. We're going to pull the right knee into the chest, give it a light little squeeze, draw that knee in circles, go in one direction. And then draw your knee in circles, go the other way. Awesome. And then we're going to set that foot down, but let it be a loose set so that you can start to drop the knee open and then pull the knee back up. So you want to just loose positioning of your foot so you can start to work on the external rotation coming out of the hip socket or out of the thigh bone. So think about the knee pointing up towards the ceiling and then dropping out to the side with a little bit of control. And then once you start to feel a little bit of heat right at the top of the inner thigh or maybe even the outer thigh, that helps pull it back up and in. Take 1 or 2 more cycles here just to notice and tune into that nice engagement of the muscles. And then the next time your knee comes up, set your foot nice and firm on the ground, pull your left knee into your chest, grab that knee, draw it in circles, go in one direction. And then draw your knee in circles, go the other way. Nice. And then set your left foot down with a nice loose footing. Take the knee out to the side and then pull the knee back up with control. And then just take a few times out and in, just starting to find a little warmth in the inner thigh, a little warmth in the outer thigh, and gently moving into the hip socket. Nice. Take 1 more out and in. And then the next time the knee comes up, we're just going to walk the heels slightly closer to the bum so that we can press into the balls of the feet and the toes. So we're going to lift the heels up away from the floor and then lower your heels back down. Lift your heels up And lower your heels back down. And then see if you can find a little breath connection here. Inhale to let your heels lift up. And then exhale to lower your heels nice and slow. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. Take one more just like that. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, lower down. Nice. And then we're going to pull the right knee into the chest, send your left leg nice and long. Let it reach towards the end of your mat. And then you're going to put a little bit of oomph into that left leg. So you're going to anchor the left leg, press out through the heel, flex the foot, pull your right knee into your chest. And then right away, push your right knee into your hands. Hands are going to resist. Take a nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, soften and pull the knee back into your chest. And then do that again. Push your knee into your hand. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, soften, draw the knee in, staying anchored in that left leg, heels on the ground. Push your right knee into your hands. Hands resist. Take a nice big inhale. And then exhale, soften it in. And now we're going to switch grips. So we're going to grab the back of the thigh and then see if you can kind of take your thigh or your knee in line with your hip a little bit. So your arms are reached out a little bit long. Hands are going to resist. And we're going to keep a little bit of push in the back of the thigh. So think about keep pushing your thigh into your hands. And then we're just going to start to reach the heel up towards the sky and then bend it back down. You don't have to perfectly straighten the leg. We just want to create a little bit of length and heat in the back of the leg. So the hands are holding on tight and the leg is pushing into your hands. Awesome. One more up and down here. And then soften all of that up. Pull your knee into your chest for one little squeeze. And now we're going to switch sides. So left knee is going to come into the chest. Right leg's going to go nice and long. We're going to anchor into that right leg. So the foot's going to be flexed and that leg is going to be nice and solid on the ground. Once you feel like you've got that foundation, hands wrap around that left knee. Push your knee up into your hands. Hands resist. Take a big inhale. Exhale, soften and pull it in. Push your knees into your hands. Inhale a nice big breath. Exhale, bring it in and soften. Nice. One more just like that. Push your knee into your hand. Hands resist. Take a big inhale. Exhale, soften. Lovely. And then re-grab the back of the thigh and then see if you can just bring your knee fairly in line with your hip. And then find that little basket weave so you can hold on tight. Push your thigh into your hand. And once you feel like you've found that resistance, you're going to keep that frame and then just start to lift and lower the heel. So we keep pushing the thigh into the hand even as we lift and lower the heel. And then just move that leg up and down at a pace that feels right to you. Nice. Take one more up and down here. And then the next time you bring it down, you're going to step your left foot down onto the ground, keeping an anchor now in that left leg. So we're going to think about pushing that heel down into the ground. Let your hands come down at your sides. Right leg is going to stay long. And now we're going to start to lift and lower the whole leg like a nice big lever. Keep as much of a bend in that knee as you need so that you're not yanking against the back of the leg. And then just take a few lifts and lowers here. And if you like, move it with the breath. Exhale as you lower down and inhale as the leg comes up. Nice. Take one more lift and lower here. And then when you feel good and ready, bend your knees, set your foot down, and we're going to take all of that to the other side. So we're going to anchor into the right leg. Left leg is going to come up nice and high, as much of a bend in the knee as feels best to you, and then start back to that lift and lower. So we anchor into that right foot. Our back is nice and solid on the ground, and most of the movement that we're finding is coming right out of that hip hinge. And you're just moving it at a pace that feels right to you. Nice. Take one more up and down. And then we're going to bend that knee. So feet are going to come slightly closer together so that we can start to take a couple of butterflies in and out. So just like we dropped the knees out single, now we're going to take it double. So both knees are going to drop out to the side and then draw the knees back in. Let your footing be loose so you can just move comfortably in and out. And then just check your tailbone here. Make sure everything feels like it's in a good position. If you need to rearrange anything so that your body feels better, take the time to do that. Take a few more out and in, just moving at a pace that feels good to you, and then tuning back in, noticing that heat in the inner thighs, that little warmth in the outer thighs. The next time your knees drop out, we're going to stay there. Walk the feet in a little bit closer to each other so you can press the soles of the feet together. And now we're going to take it into some butterfly bridges here. So elbows are going to come alongside the ribs so we can use our elbows as a little bit of leverage, fingers pointing up towards the ceiling, or make fists, whatever feels the best with your hands. But we're going to press the feet together. Inhale, lift your hips up just as high as they like to go. And then exhale, lower down with control. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. One more with that breath pattern. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. Stay down for a second. Take a nice big inhale. And then on your exhale, lift up. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to lift. Inhale, lower down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower down, grab the outsides of your thighs, help your knees come together, pull them up into your chest, give yourself a light little squeeze, draw your knees in circles, go in one direction. And then draw your knees in circles, go the other way. Nice, and then set your feet down so that we're prepped for our bridge position. Heels close to the butt, feet about hip width distance apart. Inhale at the bottom, let your hips stay down. Exhale and lift up. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to lift up. See if you can keep that breath pattern going. Inhale as you lower down. Exhale as you lift. And then start to see if you can tune into the tops of the thighs. Think about as you lift up that your knees are reaching toward your toes. So we find a little length through the front of the thighs. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to lift. On your next exhale, you're going to lift up and hold. Take a big inhale at the top. As you exhale at the top, you're going to let all that air go and then see if you can suck your belly in. Make a nice hollow belly or just go as far sucked in as your body will allow. Hold that sucked in belly and then lower your hips back down. Once your hips touch the ground, take a big inhale, let your belly inflate. And then as you exhale, lift right back up into that bridge. Stay at the top, take a big inhale. Exhale, let all of your air go and then see if you can suck your belly in. Make that nice vacuum belly or just suck it in just as far as your body allows. And then hold that sucked in belly the best you can. Lower with control down to the ground. Once your hips touch down, take a big inhale, let everything fill up. And then exhale, bring it right back up. Stay at the top. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let all that air go, suck your belly in. Hold that sucked in belly, lower your hips down to the ground with control. And then once your hips touch down, take a big inhale, let everything fill up. Nice. Pull both knees into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. We're going to start to rock and roll our way up to a comfortable seated position. So rock and roll, take a couple of rocks and rolls, massaging the length of the spine, and then see if you can come up into a Sukhasana. You can cross your legs, move yourself around in any way that feels right. Wiggle into your sits bones, find that nice tall spine. Beautiful. Right hand's going to touch the ground. Left hand's going to reach up. We're going to take 3 gentle side bends here, just leaning out and then lifting right back up. Nice. One more to this side, then we're going to take it right over to the other side. Left hand touches down, right hand reaches up. Take 3 side bends here. Awesome. And then take it back over to the right. Right hand touches down, left hand reaches up, and now crawl that right hand out just as far as feels comfortable, but your sits bones still feel pretty anchored onto the ground. And then rotate that thumb back just a little bit, look up to the sky, take a nice big breath. Nice. And then lift up and take it over to the other side. Left hand down, reach it out just as far as feels good so that your sits bones still feel anchored. Think about pulling that top thumb back, gazing up to the sky, and take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then lift up, and we're going to take it into a seated twist. So left hand's going to find the right knee, rotating to the right. And then you're just going to go to the edge of your comfort with that twist. So not anchoring into it so that you're wedging yourself so far back, but see where can you find a little bit of softness so that you can tune in. So with that little bit of a twist, you might find it might be just a little bit harder to sense, but can you tune into that solar plexus, that place above the belly button, but below the ribs, and just notice your breath there. So maybe even close your eyes down for a second and see if you can just find that center. Take one more breath. And then if your eyes are closed, maybe open them up, reach your right hand out straight from your shoulder, flip the palm so it's up towards the ceiling, take a side bend in your twist, take a nice big breath in, nice slow breath out. Lovely. And then lift up and then take it all the way over to the other side. Rotate, but only go to the point that feels nice to you. And then see if you can tune back into that solar plexus, the space above the belly button, but below the ribs. If it feels right, close your eyes down just so you can tune into the breath in that space. One more breath. Nice. And then reach your left hand to shoulder height, flip the palm, reach it up alongside your ear, and take a side bend here. Awesome. And then lift up, rotate back to center. Left hand's going to find the solar plexus, and then right hand's going to draw the back line of the solar plexus. So flip the palm so it's facing backwards. Just put a light little press, almost as if you're trying to squeeze those hands in towards each other. So back of the hand and the palm of the hand are pressing in towards each other. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Cool, and then switch. Right hand's gonna flip to the front side of the solar plexus, left hand's gonna flip palm facing back, find that back side of the body, and then put just the tiniest little press, just so you can feel a little sensation there. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Beautiful, and then let your hands catch hold of your knees right into a seated cat and cow here. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale, round your back. Inhale to lift your chest and chin. Exhale to round. One more breath here. Nice. And then find an inhale, find a tall neutral spine. And then we're going to kind of walk ourselves forward. Think easy seated forward fold, but you're just going to soften and round. So rather than finding length and reaching long and doing all that kind of such, just walk your hands slightly forward and then let everything round. Let your elbows soften, let your chin tuck into your chest. So you got this sort of rounded upper back body, rounding in the back of the neck. And then see if you can breathe in and notice that backside space, that space where we drew the line from the solar plexus to the back side of the body. Take a couple nice deep breaths there. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready on your next inhale, start to lift yourself up. We're going to walk the hands behind the back with nice tall fingers. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest, like a gentle back bend, lift your chin. And then soften everything up. Lean back into your sits bones, switch the cross in your legs, get everything rearranged so it all feels good. Hands come forward, and then we're back to that easy seated forward fold, but with that rounding and softness. So just come forward a little bit, and then let the upper back body round. Let the back of your neck be soft and gummy. And then see if you can tune back into that space where we drew the line to the back side of the solar plexus. Take one more breath. Cool, and then when you're ready, nice and slow, lift yourself on up, swim your hands behind the back, tall fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift your chest, lift your chin, take a gentle back bend here. Awesome, and then soften it all up. Lean back into your sits bones, send your legs out in front of you with a nice giant bend in the knees and just swish those knees side to side. Cool, and now we're gonna take it a little bit bigger. So you're gonna step your feet just a little bit wider, but heels are gonna come in just a little bit closer. And then we're coming back to that roll side to side, but start to roll onto your hip as well. So you're taking it into a bigger range of motion. And then we're gonna start to add a twist. So the next time you come over to the right, stay there for a second, walk your hands behind you, a gentle twist, lift your chest. And then right away, release, take it over to the other side. Rock the knees, roll onto the hip, hands walk behind you, take a gentle twist. Nice, and then bring it back to center, over to the other side. Drop your hips, knees drop down, rotate, maybe see if you can go a little bit further, but stay safe in the range of motion of your spine. And then release, take it over to the other side. Roll onto your hip, hands walk behind you. Nice, one more time each side. Roll onto that right hip, twist around. Awesome, and then take it over to the left and twist. Cool, and then bring it back to center, and then just rearrange your tush just a little bit so that you can walk your feet in, catch hold of your knees, 3 cat-cows here. Inhale to lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale to hang onto those knees, round back into your spine. Beautiful, inhale to lift your chest. Exhale to round. One more just like that, inhale to lift. Exhale to round. And then find a neutral spine, spin your legs around, come into a tabletop position. Come on to all fours, wrists under the knees, knees in line with the hips, and we're gonna curl both sets of toes under and right away, start our little rock. Rocking into the toes, stretching through the bottoms of the feet, only going to the depth that feels good, especially if you've got any plantar fasciitis or anything like that going on. You'll wanna be gentle and mindful and just tune into the bottoms of your feet. Nice, take one more forward and back. And then the next time you come forward, you're going to release your left toes, but keep the right toes curled under, slide your right leg back, and then right back to that rocking forward and back, pressing into the heel, and now moving a little sensation into the calf. Lovely, one more forward and back, and then slide that leg in and switch sides. Left toes are going to curl under, slide that foot back, and then come back to that rocking forward and back. Nice, one more forward and back, and then slide that leg in, and we're gonna take it right into thread the needle. Right hand's gonna reach up nice and high, create a little space, and then thread that hand through and underneath, right ear, right shoulder to the ground. And then play around with your left hand, whatever feels the best for you here. It might feel good to reach it to the top of the mat, reach it behind you, tuck it into your hip, or reach it up to the sky. And once you found a good position for that left hand, hang out for a second and take about 3 to 5 nice deep breaths. When you're ready, wherever that left hand is, go ahead and bring it back on in. Press into your left palm, unwind, come back into a tabletop shape. Give a second, wiggle out your shoulders, make sure everything feels right, and then take it right to the other side. Left hand's gonna reach up nice and high, make some space, thread that hand through and underneath, left ear, left shoulder to the ground, and then play around with what feels nice with that right hand. Maybe reaching it up to the sky, tuck it behind you, whatever feels like the best position for your body. And then once you've got that right hand situated, take 3 to 5 nice deep breaths here. Awesome. And then when you feel ready, Releasing that right arm, bringing it in alongside your face, and then gently pressing yourself back up into that tabletop position. Big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat. Come back to extended child's pose. Pull your butt back to your heels, make some space for your belly and chest, and then let your arms be nice and wide. Think about walking them to the outer edges of the mat. Soften your elbows, soften your forehead down, and take about 5 deep breaths here. And as you're breathing here, maybe see if you can just tune back into that back space of the solar plexus center. Take one more breath here. And then from here, we're going to sit back up on our heels. But if sitting back up on your heels in this position doesn't feel good, just rearrange your seat so that you have a comfortable one. We're just going to take a twist to one side and a gentle back bend. So rotate to the right in any way that feels good. Take a nice big breath. Release and take it over to the other side. Unwind, come back to center. Hands are going to reach behind the back, tall fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest. From here, if you want a bigger back bend for a moment, press into your shins, lift your hips up just as high as feels good, lifting your heart. Take one good breath, and then right away, release it all the way back down with control. Float your hands forward, come back into a tabletop position, walking your knees in, curl your toes under, and we're going to take 3 rocks forward and back just to work back into the bottoms of the feet. And then we're going to start to find our way up to downward facing dog. So on that 3rd rock forward and back, you start to lift up in any way that feels the best to you, starting to float the hips up nice and high, and then start to find some movement here. Moving in the shoulders, moving in the hips, bending the knees, pressing into your heels. Awesome. Take 1 or 2 more pedals of the legs, and then we're going to start to find our way up into a ragdoll shape at the top of the mat. So soften your knees, walk forward, let your feet come up to meet your hands, and then find that nice, loose, bent knee, forward folded position. So we want to allow for a softness here in the backs of the legs so we're not yanking against the hamstrings. Let your head hang nice and heavy. And for today, let your fingers just touch the floor if you can. Get that sense of grounding. Hands touch the floor, feet are touching the floor, back side of the body nice and soft. And then once you feel like you have a sense of that connection, hands and feet are touching the ground, that little bit of grounding, now can you pull your awareness up to the solar plexus? So that little tucked in space, take a nice big breath there. Slow breath out. And then can you draw a line to the back side of the solar plexus and take a nice big breath there? And a slow breath out. Nice. And then from here, bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in, belly button towards the spine. Round and roll up to a standing position. Take a moment as you come on up, let your blood pressure return to normal, get yourself all situated. And as it is 7:34, if you've got to get on with the rest of your day, I hope that it's amazing. But if you're sticking around, find mountain pose at the top of your mat, anchor into your feet, and reach up through the crown of your head. See if you can let your shoulders snuggle down, get nice and soft. Cool. From here, we're going to inhale, raise the arms up like you're holding a beach ball. Keep your hips fairly forward. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, raise both arms back up and overhead. Exhale, twist over to the left. Inhale, both arms up and overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, both arms up and overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, both arms up and overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, both arms up and overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Beautiful. Inhale, both arms are going to come up and we're going to work into our chair pose from here. So exhale, sink into your little chair. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, cactus your arms, open your chest, get a sense of awareness of that solar plexus space opening up just a little bit. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, sink into your chair, draw the tailbone down, firm up the solar plexus. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, open your arms, cactus. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink into your chair, pulling in right at that center. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, open your arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink into your chair and hold. So you can find that drawing in sensation at the solar plexus, tailbone sinking a little further. Take one more good breath. Nice. And then on your next inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, you're going to float the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers here, draw the knuckles towards the heels, open the chest just a little bit, lift your chin, take a nice big breath. Super. And then from here, we're going to fold this over. So if you like, keep that clasp of your hands, bend your knees a lot, fold yourself over, and then just let your arms kind of fall away naturally from the back side of the body. So it doesn't need to be extreme, and you don't need to force anything here, but just allow gravity to work for you a little bit. Take a nice big breath. Slow breath out. Awesome. Keep that bent over position. Relax your hands towards your low back and then unlace your fingers, float your fingers down to the ground, moving right into a half forward fold. As you inhale, glide your hands to your shins, lengthen your spine. Exhale and soften everything back down. Inhale to a half forward fold position. Exhale and soften down. Nice. One more just like that. Inhale to that half forward fold. Exhale and soften down. Bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in. Roll on up to standing. Roll your shoulders around, down and back. Find your mountain pose again. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Step the right leg back into a warrior two position. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out, spin your right hand up. Nice. And then just take a second here to make sure you feel nice and evenly weighted. And then lift up from the soles of the feet, lift up through the legs, up the side body, out through the fingertips, look forward, take a nice big breath. Nice. And then from here, we're going to move into triangle pose. Straighten that front leg, pop the back hip out, reach long through the torso. Maybe you find the thigh, maybe the shin, maybe the floor. But we want to start to find a place where we can let that top shoulder draw back and up towards the ceiling. Reach your right hand up towards the sky. And then after you found that position, see if you can tune into that solar plexus place. Take a nice big breath there. Take one more breath. Awesome. Strong legs, strong side body. Lift yourself on up. We're going to rotate the front toes to the outside of your mat. So both toes are pointing to the right. Soften your knees a little bit. Hinge from your waist. Float your hands down to the ground. Once your hands find the ground, take a couple little rocks side to side. Think side lunges here. Nice. One more little rock side to side. And then as you come to center, bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in. Roll on up. Both toes are pointing out to the right. Now we're going to point the right toes to the back edge of the mat and take our triangle to the other direction. So think about popping your hip out, finding the inner thigh, the shin or the floor, and then pulling that top shoulder back. Gaze up to the sky. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. Strong legs, strong side body. Lift yourself back up. Pivot those back toes so they point to the right. And now we're going to pivot the left toes so they point to the top edge of the mat, back to your warrior two position. Beautiful. And then spin your hands down to the ground, pivot on your back heel, find a lunge. Nice. Bring that back knee down. We're going to take 3 half splits here, rocking forward and back. Wonderful. And then find that low lunge position, lift up just a little bit so that you can rotate to the left. So your right hand's going to find that left knee, turning to the left, and then tune back into that solar plexus place. Take a nice big inhale. Awesome. Unwind, hands down to the ground, curl the back toes under, pick the back knee up, plant your palms, step back to a plank. In this plank position, can you broaden your shoulders for a second, press through your heels, firm up that solar plexus center, take one more breath, and then lower your knees down to the ground, hug your elbows into your ribs, lower with control onto your belly. Beautiful. 3 low cobras here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. Nice. One more breath here. Exhale, lower down. Curl your toes under. Power up to a plank or take it through a tabletop position if that feels like a better way to go. Find your way up to a downward facing dog. Take a pedal or two of the legs here just to move through the back chain of the body. And then when you feel good and ready, look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold position. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left leg back, warrior two to the other side. Drop the heel, turn the toes out, left hand spins you up. Take a second here to find that lift from the soles of the feet, up the legs, up the side body, out through the fingertips. Nice, and then straighten that front leg, triangle to the front. Pop your back hip out, find the thigh, the shin, or the floor. Pull those bottom ribs forward, top ribs reach up towards the sky. Maybe look up towards the ceiling, take a nice big breath. Strong legs, strong side body. Lift yourself on up, and then we're going to pivot the toes so both toes are pointing to the left side of the mat. Nice, and then soften your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down. Hands touch the ground and find that nice side lunging side to side. And take these side lunges just as far and as deep as feels good to you. Maybe finding a little stretch in the other thigh, a little strength at the tops of the thighs as you push one way and the other. Take one more time each side. And then come to center, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, lift on up. We're going to pivot the left toes to the back edge of the mat and find our triangle pose to the other side. So we're going to lean out, pop that hip out, finding the thigh, the shin, or the floor. Bottom ribs pull forward, top ribs reach up towards the sky. Turn your head and look up if that feels good. Nice, and then strong legs, strong side body. Lift yourself up, pivot those left toes forward, pivot those right toes towards the top of the mat, back to your warrior two position. Awesome, and then spin your hands down to the ground, pivot on your back heel. Nice, drop that back knee down and take 3 half splits here, just rocking forward and back. Beautiful. And then the next time you come forward, we're going to lift up, finding that rotation. Left hand's going to find the right knee, right hand finds the hip. Turn to the right, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then release nice and slow and controlled. Curl the back toes under, pick your back knee up, step your front foot back to a plank position. Hang out in that plank for a second. Broaden your shoulders, firm up your solar plexus, press through the heels. Nice, and then bring your knees down, lowering with control this time. Rotate the eyes of the elbows, hug your elbows into the side body, lower with control. Cool, then once you're down, take a second, shake out your tail. And then we're gonna come into our drunken serpent here. So hands off the outer edges of your mat, nice tall cupcake hands. Inhale, lift your heart nice and high. Exhale, lower down. Right shoulder up and back. Inhale, lift that right shoulder and look over. Exhale, lower down. Take it to the left. Inhale, lift and look over. Exhale, lower down. Bring it back to center. Inhale, lift up nice and high. Exhale, lower down. Beautiful. Hang out here for a second. Slide your hands in. Shake out your tush. You're going to bend the right knee. See if you can reach your right hand back and catch hold of that foot. And then just hug it in for a little squeeze. Wonderful. And then release that foot with control. Just let it lower nice and slow. Bend the left knee. See if you can reach back, catch hold of that left foot. Hug the heel in if that feels good. Nice. And then let that foot go with control. Take a second, wiggle out your tush, wiggle out your heels. We're going to bend both knees and give a little windshield wiper action with those heels just to soften up the low back. And then we're going to bring it into our little bow pose. So we're going to keep both knees bent, hug the heels in a little closer to your bum. See if you can reach back and catch hold of both feet. Left hand grabs the left foot, right hand grabs the right foot. Find a comfortable grab for you. It doesn't have to be extreme. And then once you feel like you found your way there, once you've got your handhold, if it feels good, you're going to press your feet into your hands. Hands are going to help resist. And you're just going to find a little bit of a lift. And then in that lifted position, can you tune back into your solar plexus and take 3 nice deep breaths? Beautiful. And then when you're ready, with control, release your feet, float them back down to the ground, press your way up into a tabletop position, and then take 3 cat-cows here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale, round your back. Inhale to drop your belly. Exhale to round. One more cycle of breath. Find a nice neutral spine, curl your toes under, lift up to downward facing dog, and we're going to take a little twist in our dog. So you're going to step your feet slightly wider than their normal configuration, just so you have a nice firm foundation with your feet. And then you're going to see if you can reach your left hand over and across, finding your left calf or your ankle, rotating to the right, looking under your right armpit. Take a nice big breath. Nice, and then release. Rearrange yourself as needed, and then we'll take it to the other side. Right hand's going to reach over and across, looking under the left armpit. Take a nice big breath. Cool, and then release. Soften your knees, gaze forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. We're going to take a balance from here. So if you feel like you might need a little assist with your balance, find a wall, a chair, anything that you can place your hand on, or even standing close to the wall so you remove all other distractions from your gaze. So find a position you feel like you'll be able to balance on. And then we're going to start by just picking the right knee up. See where your balance is at, get sort of an idea, and then float that foot down, take it to the other side, pick your left knee up. Nice, and then just see where you're at. Cool, set that foot down, and now we're gonna come back to that right knee. We're gonna pick the right knee up, and then see if you can take your left hand and reach to the outside of that right knee. So we're gonna start to find a gentle twist here. We're gonna rotate just as much as feels right, reaching the right hand back, soft and steady. Take one more breath. Beautiful, then bring it back in nice and slow and controlled. Set that foot down, bounce out anything that you need to, let it all go. And then we're gonna take it to the other side. So lifting the left knee up, right hand's gonna reach across to the outside of the knee. And then see if you can rotate to the left, slow and controlled. And then once you're there, soft and steady. So there's a looseness to it. It's not a static hold, but there's also a firmness to it that helps you keep control. One more breath. Nice, and then when you're ready, release, come back around, sit that foot down, shake it all out, let it all be nice and loose. And then while we're here shaking, let's take it into a little bounce. Bounce the heels, start to find that nice little gentle shake in the body. Let the arms be loose and shaky. Let the muscle tissue be a little bit soft and loose. Let the skin move, let your fatty tissue move. Allow a little bounce in the breath. If it feels safe and comfortable, you can even close your eyes down for a second and just tune in. Notice how your body feels. And then once you start to feel that little bit of heat in the calves and the ankles from that bounce where the work is coming from, take one more good bounce and then let everything soften. Close your eyes down, take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Beautiful. Feet about hip width distance apart. Open your eyes. Inhale, raise your arms up and look up. Exhale, soften your knees, bend all the way down to the ground. Inhale to that half forward fold position. Exhale to soften down, roll down into a little ball of yarn, pick up your heels, bend your knees. Right away, we're gonna set our butt down onto the ground, come into a little boat here. Lift your feet up. If you like, hands free, otherwise grab the backs of your thighs, but find the position that you like for just a second. Take one more big breath. Beautiful, and then float your feet down to the ground, curl your tailbone under, roll your way down to the ground. Nice. And then once you found your way here, just give a second. Snuggle your shoulders in, let your feet rest comfortably for a moment. Take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Pull your right knee into your chest, send your left leg nice and long, right into a supine twist. Right knee is going to come over and across the body. Right arm opens out nice and wide. Take a few moments here. Really allow your body to settle into the shape. And then once you feel like your body has settled in, tune back into your breath. Can you notice that solar plexus center, front side and the back side? Take one more breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, pull the right knee back into the chest. We're going to take our right peace fingers, reach up and grab hold of that right big toe. Stretch that toe up. Allow for any amount of bend in that knee that feels best to you. It doesn't have to be extreme, and the leg certainly does not need to be straight. You might already feel sensation with a super bent knee. So just tune into the back of the leg. And then we're just going to take it out to the right, nice and wide, just as far as you've got control of. Take one good breath. And then pull it back in with control. Bend that knee, release your grab from that toe, pull the left knee in to meet both knees into the chest, take a nice big breath. And then hold onto your left knee, send your right leg nice and long, supine twist to the other side. So we're gonna take that left knee over and across, left arm opens wide, head turns to the left if that feels good. Give your body a second to settle into this shape. And then once you feel like you've found that settling in, tune back in and see if you can notice that solar plexus, that space above the belly button, but below the ribs. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, pull the left knee into your chest. Left big peace fingers are going to grab hold of that left big toe. You're going to reach that heel up towards the sky, but only go as far to the point that you feel sensation in the back of the leg, and then no further than that. Once you feel like you've found a little sensation in the back of the leg, open that leg out nice and wide, just as far as you can control. Cool. And then when you're ready, bring it all back up and in. And now we're going to take it right into a happy baby. So slide that right leg in, rearrange your grab so you can hold either the blade edges of the feet, the tops of the toes, or the backs of the thighs. And then think about settling your tailbone down, snuggling your shoulders down. Let everything be soft for a moment. And then once you feel like you found a little sense of soft heaviness here, just start to find a gentle rock, gently rocking side to side. Not too much effort in the movement, a softness around the hips, a softness in your shoulders. Nice. Take one more gentle rock side to side. And then we're going to release our handhold from the feet. Think legs up the wall, float your feet up towards the ceiling. Keep a nice generous bend in the knees. And we're right up to the toes. So we're going to point the toes up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, pull the toes in, flex your feet. Point your toes up towards the ceiling. And then pull the toes in. Point your toes up towards the ceiling. Pull your toes in. Neutral foot, you're going to bend your left knee, set it down. Right leg is going to bend and externally rotate. So you find a little bit of a figure four here. And then once you've got your figure four shape, hands free, inhale, lift the right knee up. Exhale and lower it down. Inhale and lift it up. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift it up and hold. Wobble your figure four a little bit side to side. Nice. And then when you're ready, you're going to release legs back up the wall. So release that figure four shape. Send both feet up towards the ceiling. Point your toes and flex your toes. Point your toes and flex your toes. Point your toes, Flex your toes, find a neutral foot, bend your right knee down to the ground, externally rotate the left knee, and then bring it across into that figure 4 shape. Once you feel like you've got that set up, lift the right leg up and then lower it back down. Nice. Lift the right leg up and lower it down. Lift it up and hold, and then wobble your figure 4 side to side. Beautiful. One more little wobble side to side, and then release it back up into legs up the wall. Unwind the legs, float the feet up, and then give your legs a nice gentle shaking out just to release any stuff you might be holding onto there. Soft toes, soft ankles, soft calf muscles, soft shins, soft knees, soft thighs. Take one more good shake of those legs, and then start to float your feet back down to the ground and find your way into your Shavasana, wherever you think would feel the best. Maybe back to the original posture you started with, or constructive rest, legs extended long, roll onto your belly, roll onto your side, anything that would find a stillness for you that makes sense. And then once you feel like you've picked a position that your body's going to enjoy, give yourself a moment to settle into it. Work out all your little wiggles, fix your clothes, fix your hair, get yourself nice and comfortable. And then once you feel like you've got that sort of sense of settling in, can you tune back into your solar plexus, the space above the belly button but below the ribs, that nice soft center. And then just see if you can sense your breath in that space, but with a sense of softness. So no need to effort anymore in the breath, but just can you tune in and notice your breath there? Allow your eyes to close or soften your gaze. Allow for your softness in your hands and your feet. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana as long as your body likes and your time allows. But if you feel called to do so, start to gently reawaken your body. Wiggle your fingers, gently move into your toes, move your wrists, move your ankles, make any little micro movements that feel nice to you. Maybe invite a deeper sense back into your breath. And then if it all feels really good, take a big good morning stretch. Stretch long from fingers to toes. Take a nice big giant breath back into your body. Nice. And then in your own way, find your way up to a seated position. Sukhasana or any other seat that feels the best in your body. Awesome. And then once you found your way up, just give a second. Wiggle into your sits bones, make your tush nice and comfortable. Soften your shoulders just a little bit. We're going to fire up our palms, some nice and good and hot. Really get some heat in those palms. Get them just as hot as you can. Start to feel a little work in your shoulders. That's how hot you're getting those palms. And then one hand is going to find the front of the solar plexus. The other hand is going to find the back side. So one palm is going to be cool and facing out. Palm facing into the front, palm facing out in the back. Close your eyes down. Take a nice big breath. Slow breath out. Bring your hands back together. Clap them together, fire up those palms, get them super duper hot, work into the shoulders, really create that heat all the way down your arms. And then once you feel like your hands are really as hot as they're ever going to get, flipping the other side, one palm facing in, one palm facing out, put a gentle press right at that center, close your eyes, take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Nice, and then when you're ready, release. Hands to heart center and Anjali Mudra, bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And I send my love and gratitude out to you. Thank you for sharing your morning with me. Gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy, happy Thursday.